From a beautiful landscape to a barren wasteland. This happened all too often in Europe during World War I. Both sides, Allied and Axis, would entrench themselves and fight over small pieces of land until they could fight no more. In this video, I will be showing you a first-person perspective of what the trenches look like. So, as we enter the primary trench, we can see that here is a machine gun nest, and along the front line it was lined with barbed wire and some exits only for Allied soldiers to charge the enemy. Continuing along, we can see another machine gun nest and another opening which is guarding. Heading down back to the secondary trenches, we can see our first dugout, which is a medic station. Here we can see where the injured were housed. Heading back even further, in this winding trench, we can see our second dugout, which is a supply depot, where they would keep all extra supplies and what they needed. Our final building for the secondary trenches will be the mess hall, where soldiers would eat and spend maybe some free time if they had any. And here is food storage to keep the food cold and preserved. Now heading up here, we can see the Allies' cannon. And I will test fire this cannon to show how it looks. So we press this button first, and then this button, and it fires the artillery shell out over no man's land and into the enemy trenches. Continuing along, we head to the tertiary trench, where the bunkers are housed, where the soldiers sleep. And here are a couple examples to show you what they look like. Now that we've finished the Allies' trenches, we'll take a look at the central powered trenches and see what they have to offer. But to do this, we'll have to cross no man's land. And here I will show you some of the dangers of no man's land. Besides giant craters, fires, artillery shelling, rifle fire, and machine gun fire, another major bad thing that happens in no man's land are landmines. And here's an example of one. You step on it and you explode. It's not good. So continuing, if we do happen to somehow reach the central power trenches, we can see their front line is similar, with barbed wire, some exits guarded by machine gun nests. If we continue along the primary trench, we can see some more machine gun nests and some barbed wire. Now heading down into the secondary trench, we can see our first room, which is the mess hall, where the soldiers would eat, and food storage similar to that of the Allies. Heading up and continuing along, it's hard. Sometimes you can get lost in these winding trenches. We see our second dugout, which is the hospital, where they would house injured soldiers, similar to that of the Allies. Still continuing, we see the ammo depot, where they would house extra supplies and what was needed. Finally, we're heading to the tertiary trenches, where the bunks were held, and here are a few examples of the bunks. And the final thing that the Axis powers, or the central powers, have to offer is a base command here, where they would plan out their next moves. This has been my project on trench warfare in World War I, and I hope you enjoyed.